Hey everyone, want to take a second to quickly walk through the new first session sheet, especially since we're going to have a lot of people doing first sessions. It's not going to be just the FTLs. Ideally, we're going to have many of the trainers participating and taking their clients through first session. So let me share my screen real quick. All right, so when we're looking at the first session sheet, there's a few different things going on here. We talked about a higher level of accountability and goal setting from the point of sale on. And so when we look at the top part of this first session sheet, this would be their 3, 6, 9-month action plan. So as they're going through, I'm just going to take you through step by step. Obviously, you have your name, date of the client there, and then we start with our big picture goal. So we're looking at big picture. What do they want to do? Why did they sign up? What is their final piece to that puzzle? So we look over at the final goal section in gray first. And now this ideally is going to be filled out by the fitness counselor at the point of sale. They already have this information. They're already asking what the person's trying to get to. So let's say Mrs. Jones wants to lose 40 pounds. So Mrs. Jones' big picture goal is 40 pounds. We're going to fill that in. Ideally with that as well, the fitness counselor could add a description. This would be more of a spot to fill in the why. Why does she want to lose 40 pounds? 40 pounds doesn't really give us enough information to really get deep with her and to motivate her the right way. But there are reasons. She wants to spend more time with her grandkids. She wants to easily be able to get up and down off the ground. She wants to hike or bike or do whatever that is. So that's where we'd add some of that detail in. Just short, easy, simple words to know why she wants to do it. So you have a couple of big picture goals. If they have more than that, that's great. But what we found is most of our clients just have 1 or 2 big picture items that they really want to accomplish. So you have your description. From there, when we have our 3-month, 6-month, 9-month, that's more for our FTL or for our trainer to start to fill out a roadmap of what it's going to look like to get to that final goal. We're going to break down that goal. Okay, if the total goal is 40 pounds, then this is where you need to be by 3 months. This is where you need to be by 6 months. And this is where you need to be by 9 months in order to reach that goal. What is the description? Okay, you're going to have lost 15 pounds. You're going to, drop your body fat by this. You're going to be doing this or filling this. Key action items to reach that goal. So this is a really important thing that the trainer is going to add in. These are the non-negotiables. These are, hey, if we're going to hit this 20-pound weight loss goal or 15-pound weight loss goal by 3 months, Mrs. Jones, I've got to see you in the gym 3 days a week, every week, without fail. You've got to do 15 minutes of cardio work or whatever that is, right? So you're setting those standards, those key action items in order to hit the goal. So same thing that just goes across. What does it look like at 3 months? What does it look like at 6 months and 9 months? Those don't have to, key action items don't have to be filled in. This whole thing doesn't have to be filled in the first session. It's more of starting to build the roadmap that we're going to add to as the process goes. And so as you're finishing the first session, we need to make sure the final goals are filled in. And then that 3-month big picture description and key action items would be done. And then if we didn't have necessarily 6 and 9 months and we filled those in after the fact as we got a little bit closer to them, I'd be fine with that. All right, so as we move down into our next section, we have our health history. So health history, just a little spot. This is more of, do they have injuries, specific problems that we need to adjust for, big action items as far as their health that we need to be aware of. Then the next section jumps into body comp assessment. Most clubs should hopefully have an in-body scanner. Then if they do, that's what you want to do. Just pop them on the in-body scanner. 2 minutes later, they're done. You can break down that comp with them and use that as a follow-up. If they don't, we want to make sure they have a good starting point. They know that we care, and so we're going to do weight, percentage of body fat off the hand scanner, and then do some quick measurements. Next section is our nutritional info. If there's certain things that you've talked about with them, certain nutritional requirements that they have or they want to have, you can fill those in right there. The next section below that is what's next. We want to make sure that they have their trainer contact info. When is their next session? They're just barely getting into the habit, so let's make sure that's recorded. And then when are their 2 team trainings? Regardless of whether they have team training as a part of their personal training, if they've paid for that, we want to make sure they get to at least 2 to try it out. It's going to be part of our recommendations, so make sure we get those first 2 scheduled. That should be done at point of sale by the fitness counselor, so more so the trainer's just following up on that. As we get into our FMS quick screens and then our workout, we're looking at shoulder mobility first. Here's what recommended exercise choice. Okay, so if you're going to do their scoring first, so we're going to do a shoulder mobility test. If they score a 1 for their push work, we're just recommending that we just do floor slides. We're not going to take them through anything crazy yet today. If they score a 2, we're going to get them on a wall slide. If they score a 3, we're going to get them overhead pressing. If you wanted to switch out a wall slide and you want to do push-ups, that's fine. It's just more of making sure that they're at least a 2 or a 3 before we take them through any overhead press work on that. Next to that is your recommended pull. We just threw TRX rows in there. That was an adjustment I made based on some feedback from the field. You can adjust their feet, make it harder or easier. So I don't think we need to have a variety of exercises on the pull, just adjust the difficulty level on the row. Okay, we move into our active straight leg raise. Once again, we have our scoring over here. Based on what they score, we have a recommended hinge workout, okay? So if they're a 1, we're just saying take them through a toe touch mobility drill, show them how we can get them to be able to touch their toes, give them an assignment to work on it on their own. If they're a 2, working on some type of kettlebell hinge movement. And if they're a 3, let's just get them deadlifting, okay? Along with that, our 4th workout, we want to try and get some brace work, some core work in. So we just put a plank universal. We can adjust the difficulty level, keep it simple. Down here, you can actually put what variation. If you chose to go with a different set of exercises than the ones right here, that's okay. Just write it down and write down the rep range that you gave them so that they can work on these things in between now and when they see you next. I would also, in the notes section, recommend giving them a little bit of a cardio assignment. That's what I do for all my clients as they come through on a first session. I give them 4 or 5 exercises, cardio assignment, ask them to complete it at least 1 time before I see them again. Okay. On your follow-up checklist down here in the bottom section, we have our My Zone. We want to make sure that their My Zone is set up and that they understand how to use their belt, that you've pointed out how the tiles work, get them started on the right foot with that. There are best practices and My Zone instructions that are going out to the field separate from this. Gym payment registration, this is to sign up for team training classes and also for their kid care. So just make sure that that happened at point of sale, follow up on that. Make sure they have their team classes set up, they understand where it is, how that works, and then their calendar, that they have their progress check calendar, they know what they're supposed to be doing each day, they know how to fill that out and set goals. So just make sure you've gone over those things. When we're talking about overall first session, my big ask and my big want for a first session is that this person has their questions answered. They feel comfortable being with us. They know the direction that we want them to head, and they feel comfortable coming into the program. You have to remember, we're all suffering from what they call the curse of knowledge. We've been doing this a while. This all makes sense to us. We know how the programming goes. We know how to be successful in a gym. And so we forget what it feels like to walk in for one of your very first times and be given a million things, a bunch of exercises, a bunch of goals, a bunch of thought process, a bunch of new technology to use for your workouts. It can be really overwhelming. So just make sure the biggest thing we want to get out of this first session is they feel comfortable, they have a map, they have a direction they're going, and they're excited to move forward with you. All right, so that covers the first session sheet. Keep it simple. Once again, don't overcomplicate it. Don't dig into it too much. It's about making them feel comfortable, helping them have goals and a starting point, and getting them moving a little bit. Thank you.